Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins for the 6th anniversary 9-hole cup here in Golf Clash the game. Before we take a closer look, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to improve your game even more, scan the QR code here on the screen and go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy for the ultimate tournament guides or the exclusive tour text guides. You can start as low as $1.50 per month. Follow the info box on the right hand side for the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, here we are playing with our extra mile, and we're using a katana ball as well to allow us to use a lot of side spin, not just on the drive if we want to, but especially on the second shot. 4.5 bar top spin and 2 left spin, and ball guideline to point centered down the fairway. Adjust the max plus a 10, and then we are looking to hit a perfect ball to be just in a safe and comfortable way on the middle of the fairway, or in the middle of the fairway. Now for the second shot we're going to use our sniper, and the sniper is being used instead of the long iron due to its brilliant ball guideline. Also the accuracy is very helpful. You can choose to play a rough bump if you would like. If you choose to play a rough bump, you play the rough bump with a minus 10% elevation. If you then decide to play a bounce over instead, if you cannot find a good spot into the rough, which I can't do that, then we're using the fairway before the rough, using spins to have the ball guideline slightly short of pin, and then using 10% elevation instead. You may wonder here, why am I using 10% elevation for a bounce over shot when I'm using a negative elevation such as minus 10 for a rough bump? The reason for that is that we are, with the 10% elevation, compensating for the push that we get from the wind after the first bounce. And that is something that we all need to have in mind, that if we're not compensating for the push from the wind after the first bounce, it's very easy to miss. And it's also therefore very easy if you steer yourself blind on one fixed elevation for every single shot. You're gonna drop some, but you're gonna miss by a mile on some. So that's a very important learning thing to have in mind when it comes to elevation, that there isn't really any elevation that works every single time for the same type of shots. You need to really think outside the box and give yourself, allow yourself to tweak if necessary. For hole number 2 is Santa Ventura. Here we're going to play very similar to what we have been doing in the golden shot. So for those of you that have been playing the golden shot medium of the Santa Ventura will recognize this type of setup. So before spin, we have the bottom of the yellow ring by the fringe and fairway line, ball guideline to point towards the hole, and then we're applying spins. For backspin is what we're using in this particular angle, and we are then doing an adjustment that is max plus 10. So once we have made the adjustment, you will see here now that we're going to have the first bounce on the fringe and the ball bouncing itself up towards the hole. And this will always be a solid chance. In a worst case scenario, you will be just around the pin and get yourself a safe birdie. But if you are lucky, you will do as I'm doing in the video, getting a hole in one. For hole number 3, the Gokasho Bay, here we're gonna play with 4.5 bar top spin and 2 left spin. You can see here now that I'm looking to have the second bounce to be just by the edge of the rough line. This to allow for the tailwind to push the ball then over the rough, and we make sure that we're not rolling too long. Max plus 10 is the adjustment, and I'm using a quasar ball here as there is no need to use any other ball in my opinion, as we do have the power enough for the drive, we do then have it for the second shot. And again, that's all that matters. Bouncing on the fairway, over the rough, and we roll down the fairway nicely. On the second shot, we are going to play with our sniper, and the sniper is brilliant to choose here, playing from front tee, due to it from a lower level already have a good ball guideline. Because that's the difficult part playing with a long iron, as the long iron in itself has usually a pretty crappy ball guideline until you get to a higher level of that club, which then is going to just only apply to a certain percentage of the player base. But using a sniper, majority does get the sniper into a semi-level pretty early. 10% elevation, true club distance, ball guideline either to or through the hole depending on wind angle. Bounces on the rough or in the rough, missing just left, meaning that we are slightly over adjusting our shot and need to tweak that for the next time. But it offers us a solid chance for an albatross. For hole number 4, the Oasis hole number 3, we're gonna go for a rough bomb. This is an aggressive route, have that in mind, but this tricky par 3 doesn't really offer much chances otherwise, because this is one way to go, but the other way to go is to bounce on the fairway pad that you have on the right side of the green. And using that pad, you're going to have to go with a lot of curl. It's very easy to have too much spins or too little spins and you be in the rough or the sand or something like that. So I rather take my chances by going for a bit more aggressive rough bump where the hole-in-one is a chance. But obviously the risk is still there that I can miss the rough and get myself into trouble. But I rather have a good chance for an hole-in-one or trouble than trouble or safe birdie. I mean, you know, that's kind of like a no-brainer decision in my opinion, but it's up to you to decide. I'm using a quasar ball, trying to aim for the ball to roll up the hill and fall down into the hole. So on hole number 5, this is a short par 4 of the Gokasho Bay, where you can play a very safe way up to the left, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to push it here with our drive. And unfortunately, we do have some headwind, which make us being forced to play with minimum a power 2 ball. Power 3 ball would be even better, as that would even cover the direct headwind, and we don't have to go with any type of overpower there also. Max plus 10, using all the topspin that I can, combined with all the 3 right spin that I do have on the katana. This to push the ball right, to allow ourselves to be closer towards the green and making then for not an easy but very makeable short iron. So now on the approach, we're looking to see in what type of club range we are in, and if possible we want to bounce on a consistent and flat area, which is the fairway before the fringe or on the fringe. I would try to avoid a bounce or like aim close to any of the bunkers, because it is a bit glitchy close to them too. No elevation on the second shot through club distance, so here we're playing close to max club, as we are pretty close to max distance of our club. Adjustment being made, center the ball and hit perfect. Perfect ball it is, and it bounces on the fairway up towards the pin, dead center for a lovely eagle here on hole number 5. For hole number 6, we're gonna play Meadow Castle par 5. Look, there is literally no obstacles on this par 5, and this will offer you all a good chance for an albatross. The more power you have on your ball, the closer you will get to the green after the drive. So here I suggest, as you do have so much room on the fairway, to adjust, push up to max, and then hit max overpower. And again, the closer we are to the green, the better it's going to be. And we want to play with as worse a short iron. Wedge is also fine, but even in some cases, if it is a direct tailwind and you have some good clubs, you can actually reach green. Maximum distance plus 10 it is, and I'm playing with a Titan here for here in the video. Second shot, we play with our Thorn, and now we're gonna check where max club are, where our minimum club, and from there we're gonna make an educated guess on what club distance we are going to use. So no spin. I really enjoy playing no spin from this type of range, This, as I do believe it's easier to control the rollout and the bounces and stuff like that compared to if I would be using a lot of topspin or backspin. So here I'm playing this one 75% club, 10% elevation, and a perfect ball. And you can see that the ball bounces on the fairway up towards the green and getting to drop dead center for a lovely albatross here on hole number 6, Meadow Castle. Hole number 7. Here I play with the driver that gives me the most power possible, and I'm gonna try to trickle the ball forward on the tiny fairway on the right. Why do I do that? It's because it offers the best possibility for a drop from distance, as from the right we are then allowing ourselves to play with a long iron to pin. 3.5 bar backspin, 1 right spin, aiming to have the ball guideline center down the fairway, and you can see that my target is slightly favoring the right side. Adjustment, maximum distance with a 10% elevation. Center the ball and hit perfect. There we go, perfect ball it is. And we're getting the ball down by bouncing on the fairway, and then the backspin helps slow down. We're just at the top of the shadow, which is absolutely perfect. Let's take a look at the second shot, where we're gonna play with the long iron that we do prefer. You can play Backbone, Goliath, or Grizzly. B52 doesn't really matter, but choose the one that do have the best ball guideline. First, I'm looking to see if there is a rough bump by the green, but no, there isn't really anything there. So we're backing up, playing with the Goliath, bouncing on the water, which is a standard way of playing on this par 4. A little bit of left spin, 2.5 bar backspin. And we are letting the ball guideline to be favoring left side of the cup. And the reason for that is that the green slightly falls left to right. 10% elevation through club distance, so you check where max club are, check where min club are, and make a decision after that. Perfect ball it is, and you will see here now that we bounce nicely over the water onto the fairway just before the fringe. Rolls into the left side of the cup. Doesn't really matter where it drops, just that it drops. Nice little drop here on hole number 7. For hole number 8, we are going to play a par 3 of the Meadow Castle. Hole number 4, and that is 1 backspin, and we're playing with a couple of clicks of a right spin, and we're gonna play an NMT. And what that means is that you're not gonna touch the target until it's time to adjust the rings. Playing with a navigator ball as well, which gives me a little bit more wind resistance than the standard ball, but also have in mind that playing with a power 3 ball, you will most likely pull into min club if you do have tailwind. So therefore, P1 ball as the navigator, or as most a katana ball. Didn't need that right spin there. Playing medium distance, no elevation with the power ball number that I do have. Hole number 8. Yeah, pretty decent chance for an hole-in-one. For hole number 9 here in the 9-hole cup, we are going to use a navigator, and this, as we do have a tailwind, we are in no need to use more power on our ball if it's not going to be that we do have a crosswind or a headwind. So here, using no spin, adjustment is max plus 10. And then it's all about trying to hit perfect. You can hit great on left to the left and also to the right and still be fine. But obviously we do prefer to hit perfect. That will, you know, be making everything so much more safer. Now, rolling to the top end of the shadow of the palm trees and getting to around 310 yards. Second shot, now we may not be as smart as we thought from the beginning by using a power 1 ball. We are coming around that in an okay way, but using a P2 ball here would be good for basically the reason of us using a sniper level 6. If we do have a sniper 7, 8, 9, 10, we have more power, then using a P1 ball won't be obviously any issues whatsoever. So maybe something to have in mind as well, that if you do have, you know, really low level clubs, which sniper level 6 is, then I would definitely suggest to go and or at least think about using a power 2 ball or something like that. It's not that we are in any danger, so don't take it that way, but I always want us to find ourselves in a really solid spot for the drop chance. So we obviously want to push for the albatross here on hold number 9 and not just play it for an eagle, which this kind of becomes to be, because we don't really have much to follow more than a ball guideline from a far distance. So burning the edge there, 10% elevation through club distance, and hole number 9 is a chance for an albatross. Having high level clubs is definitely an advantage on this particular hole. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for the 6th anniversary 9-hole cup rookie division with various wins. Make sure to scan the QR code here on the screen if you're interested in the ultimate tournament guides for Pro Expert and or Master. Also tour play guides, the exclusive tour shootout guides for Tour 7 up to Tour 13. Start improving your game already today. Thank you once again for watching. Good luck in your Golf Clash game.